นี่แหละ 1 2 1 2 test 1 2 test testing 1 2 1 2 test 1 2 1 2 testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1
Good morning, Dharma brothers and sisters. Welcome to today's puja. Just want to remind everybody, please take this moment to turn off our cellular phone because that will disturb the whole pujas. 麻烦请把我们的手机或是任何 iPad 或者什么那全部都先关掉，让它静音，谢谢。This morning we will have empowerment, and this afternoon is a puja, and the organizer already prepared all of the puja food. So please don't bring any food here, and you are very welcome to contribute to the puja, all of the layout here, by making donation. And the donation box for puja is in the front desk, in outside, not this one. Okay, so you're more than welcome to join the offering. The other thing is that, please, I would like to remind you again, if you feel very thirsty, we can understand, but we have lots of water outside, and they prepare hot water, cold water, and please welcome to enjoy that. 如果说我们想要会供的时候呢，今天下午有会供，麻烦请不要带食物过来，因为主办单位已经非常的妥善安排，有很多的食物了哦。那欢迎大家一起来参加这个会供，我们可以做一些 donation 的。那这个箱子是在外面的那个 donation box， 专门做会供用的，这样子我们的心意呢也都在里面了。另外一件事情是，麻烦请大家如果在口渴的时候呢，外面有很多的准备了很多的水，或是热水、冷水都有。那外面的环境也不错，那可以到外面去休息。那就不要把任何的 drink coffee 带进来啊。另外一点呢，就是如果您是需要国语翻译的话，我们有国语翻译的耳机。那麻烦请在我们的左手边后面这边找 William 或是 Helen， 他就会帮您准备了。谢谢您。那麻烦在使用完毕，今天结束之后再还回来给主办单位。谢谢大家，谢谢。不好意思，还有一点提醒大家哦，我们还是昨天因为是皈依特别的活动，所以呢特别允许了可以照相或是拍摄录影，可是今天一样是不可以照相的，也不可以录影哦。再提醒大家一次，不好意思。Just want to remind everybody, it's a friendly reminder, as we mentioned yesterday. Today we still cannot take any pictures or make videos. But actually, I do understand our organizer already taking some pictures. Maybe later they will post it, so we can get very good, high-quality picture of Rinpoche. We do understand. Everybody want to take an image of Rinpoche and back home to keep that bodhicitta. We understand that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And if you have received如果你已经在跟仁波切拿到这个圣乐金刚的灌顶，但是还没有请到这个法本，请休息时间来找我，谢谢阿弥陀佛。
아, 그러나 뭐 담아야 그게 제일 방을 드는 거보다 나빠 사기를 된발을 드는 노화 이는 그게 그다 노력 양세 마마리 이제는 그게 지가 노력을 양세 랑에 그게 뭐 어도지 유래지 그 상속점에 라면 쇼리 이 상하가 좀 하고 특별히 되려 되니 누구보다 상하를 이 동아리 제발 강요를 해주는 이쪽까지 인생고는 도당 하지 제발 왕리에서 그렇게 예람당은 얘는 왕지가 되라 제발은 그 소나 망가래 뭐 얘는 소소고도 총축을 한나 왕지다 라왕이 가리 가지고 라왕지를 고요래 다다가 라왕지는 밑에 그 라왕지가 갑자서 아마서 라왕이 요래 지나 제도 그 라왕이 얼마를 동네 라왕 몇 가지 고요래 예를 들면 그 일단 주로 답지를 되는 그 랑그지 저것은 라왕이 맞지 저것은 라왕만 오는 제부는 라왕이야 이 말이 대외를 들이 아까 제도 라왕 몇 가지 차지 거기 저것은 라왕 오는 그 은혜 라왕 속도요 이렇게 저것은 라왕을 받고 그냥 봐 사기를 때 말이
So, my Dharma friends, thank you very much for coming here. And so, the Buddha's teachings consist of the sutras and the tantras. And so, for the sutra path, there are many different practices. And then, in order to understand to enter the tantric path, we first follow the path of the sutras, where first the four thoughts to turn the mind arising in the mind. Then we enter the path of the bodhisattvas, and then as a result of that, we can understand the meaning of the Vajrayana. And so the secret mantra is the essence of that. So Jigten Sumgön had said the difference between the sutras and the tantras is the empowerment. So the sutras are the long path, and the tantras are the swift path. And so regarding the meaning of the empowerment now in the tantric path, many great masters and scholars have elaborated on that extensively. But to explain it in simple terms so that we can actually understand it, freedom is something that we can relate to, we can understand. So, for example, now we live in a free country, in an independent country. So we experience independence in this life. However, we do not have much independence or freedom over our encountering of happiness and suffering. Without any control over it, we encounter suffering. And therefore, the various religions in the world have found that the way to actually attain freedom or independence is by creating its causes. We cannot attain freedom by looking at the results, because we will anyways encounter happiness and suffering without any control, without any freedom. So if we wish to attain real freedom, we must attain that freedom by creating the causes of this freedom. And so this is the purpose of the Buddhist teachings.
다지를 유무가 지라 대랑 그 유무가 뭐 마치는 레사는 이 레디 박차데 이렇게 말이지와 제라도 차라 그리고 홀용이라지 토자고 막장고 속고 지금 가리는 지 라마 용말 거죠 너무 미고나 내가 들려봐도 자고 탐지 약간가 세로요. 시로요. 대답을 라왕 내 같은 차들 답을 대도 탐지가 내가 누가 문이 노장 내가 저한테 노예는 전도 수치 와리를 뒤에 와리 대회나 사직을 라왕이 탑을 가버려 난지 윈파티 유모가 제시도 나와리네 이게 빵네 제 빵고스 이빵 가야도 빵고래 난지는 통을 열만이 투배 열만이 뒤에는 투배 열만이 그렇게 열만이 통주 되는 거 열만이 되나 내 빵을 탑에 수장 많이 말해 예를 들어 사제도 이게 다다당 소나 아니라 라리 소주마 탑잡을 이기는 그냥 비싸 메시되나 농의 말에 나대 돌이죠 누구 산지 진비 세면 총지 상제시 받은 돈 자체모로 쌍구요 말에 농의 봐 상을 내가 지고 원하는 그 요리 산지 농의 상을 내가 처모로 고절 매도 내가 요리 내가 조금 상제들 농의 상에 내가 지고 차 내가 사지를 고쳤지 사지 다도 되게 내 나와는 이거 다 인피를 놓고 그랬지 인피를 놓고 그러니까 나디요 말했지 나디요 나 진행을 놓고 좀 인피를 놓고 나요 또 그거 말해 대회는 대인가 되리 몇십달은 간다는데 너는 상축생데 인피를 놓고 있지는 같이 잡으라고 생각하고 대고 덮고 그랬지 예, 따로 아마 더발시 봐 인피를 놓고 지화시 봐 인피를 하정 끼 갖고 그랬지 나 진진 코나마도 진미로 되니 민족가 맞다고 해서 그때 제가 탈라들이 로도 안 봐주고 그래서
So we attain this freedom on the basis of creating the causes. So actually in both the sutras and the tantras, the first way in which we can attain this freedom on a basis of causes is first we have to attain this freedom with the freedom within the mind. It has to come from within the mind. And so what does it actually mean to have a freedom, or what does it mean to lack freedom, to be controlled by other? When there is self-grasping, wherever there is self-grasping, there is a lack of freedom. Self-grasping is the cause of all suffering. From self-grasping arise the afflictions, and when we don't recognize them, we engage in action, we accumulate karma, which form habitual tendencies, imprints, and these lead us to wander in samsara from lifetime to lifetime. And then we encounter various circumstances without any freedom, sometimes high like a king, sometimes low like a beggar, sometimes rich, sometimes poor. We have no control over it. When it comes down to karma, when karma ripens, then even a king of a country will be assassinated. So in this world, we encounter happiness and suffering without much self-control, without much freedom over it. Although we all do want to experience happiness, it always in the end turns into suffering anyways. And who has created that? It is our own karma, our own actions. So therefore, the Buddha gave a method to attain actual freedom. So he taught that the root of all the 84,000 afflictions is self-grasping. So in order to attain actual freedom, we must therefore give up self-grasping. And then how can we do that? Because self-grasping is not an object that we can see or hear or touch. It is something that nobody can just give up like that. And so here it says in the 37 Bodhisattva practices, and that is actually all I really know. I do not know many other scriptures. In there it says, all suffering without exception comes from wishing for one's own happiness. The perfect Buddhas arise from the altruistic mind. So the perfect Buddhas arise from the altruistic mind. So when we talk about the nature of the Buddha, not necessarily we do not necessarily have to look at it from a complex perspective, like there's this great accomplishments and miracles and so on. But what a Buddha really actually is he has cleared away all suffering, and he has attained lasting and true great happiness, unchanging happiness. So it is sufficient if we only understand a Buddha to be that. A perfectly complete Buddha is someone who has cleared away all suffering and attained great happiness. So that is attained by cultivating an altruistic mind. So that is how we attain actual freedom. It is only the altruistic mind that can melt self-grasping. And so because we cherish ourselves the most, because we are selfish, it is difficult to cultivate really true, sincere altruism, a care for others. Really, when there is selfishness, it cancels out altruism naturally. And so bodhicitta is, however, the root of actual freedom. And to cultivate that, to cultivate an altruistic mind truly is indeed very difficult. And actually, for the most part, we care about ourselves. Those who really sincerely care about others are as rare as stars in the day sky. So for this reason, we first must train our minds in the four thoughts that turn the mind.
그래서 하나 탑재가지고 요즘 박차종을 예전에 공하고 대바고 박차종을 내 방하라 그네들이 남중하고 박차종으로 선속을 나는데 바타도 이렇게 직접으로 되는 바도니 발이라고 했다는 거 양쪽으로 그래서 배기는 대다가 되는 이바이래 대회는 되지 하나 탑재받기 가래 유사하고 나가 망하다 되어졌어.
And so we entered the path of the Pratimoksha Bodhisattva and the Vajrayana. And so first, the first level, the Pratimoksha, is the method to cultivate bodhicitta where it has not yet arisen. And so here we first train the mind in the 4 thoughts that turn the mind. And this is what most people are familiar with when they first enter the Buddhist teaching. And some people do not actually really understand it. For example, when we say this human life, this human existence, this body is very precious. For example, on the basis of the numbers, we can understand how precious it really is. For example, when we compare the numbers of the little creatures that we can find on the below a rock or so, and then compare that to the humans in this world, it's a great difference. There's countless beings with and without a body, life forms that are actually incalculable. And comparatively, the human beings are very rare, are very few. So on the basis of numbers, we can see its rarity. And then even though we experience some happiness in this human existence as a precious human being, this life also is impermanent and we will die. And then what happens when we die is we follow our own karmas because the mind will not die. And that is if we have engaged in actions that come from a mind of love with body and speech, then we are born anywhere in the 3 higher realms. And if we have engaged in actions driven by the 3 poisons, the afflictions, then we are born in the 3 lower realms. So that is what creates, our karmas create the 6 realms of samsara. So then when we really understand that, we will feel, I must therefore cultivate love. So therefore, actually first the Buddha taught, you must understand suffering. You must understand the suffering nature of the lower realms, the 3 lower realms. Because only if you understand suffering, will you try to find a method to become free from suffering. If you do not understand suffering, if you're unaware of suffering, you will not look for a method to become free from suffering. Then, for example, you will think, I'm happy as a human being, I don't need anything, I have a good life. Then you will not look for any method to become free from suffering, and that is the fault of not knowing suffering. So therefore, in the beginning, it is necessary to contemplate those 4 thoughts, and that is the method to cultivate bodhicitta where it has not yet arisen. And then secondly, when we then enter the bodhisattva path, that is the method to not let bodhicitta decline where it has arisen. So here we have already recognized the importance of love and compassion. So then we take the bodhisattva vow and practice the 6 paramitas. And actually, once you have given rise to bodhicitta, everything you do, either in the world or in the Dharma, becomes naturally virtuous. If bodhicitta has not arisen in your mind, and even if you practice the Dharma, only half of that will be virtuous, the other half is non-virtuous. So if you give rise to bodhicitta, even samsaric activities become virtuous. So the bodhisattva vow is the method to not let bodhicitta decline where it has arisen. And then thirdly, the Vajrayana is the method to increase bodhicitta further and further. So then we have at this point we have habituated bodhicitta already somewhat. The mind has become much broader. We understand Buddha nature, and that means we understand that on the basis of Buddha nature, our minds are indivisible. And due to that, we understand that all the sentient beings in the 3 realms of samsara, because they possess also Buddha nature, they all actually can become liberated. And therefore, ultimately, there are no real ordinary sentient beings. So that at this point, with this understanding, we enter the path of secret mantra or the Vajrayana. So first, when we do not understand, so if we in the beginning do not understand, have not internalized those four thoughts that turn the mind, then we cannot really understand the meaning of the Vajrayana. And therefore, people have many doubts about it. And therefore, it is really necessary to first cultivate those four thoughts. And on the basis of that, give rise to bodhicitta. And then such a person, if they then engage in the practice of the Vajrayana, they can really attain the results of Vajrayana practice. And so following the path of the Bodhisattvayana, gradually we lead to enlightenment. Throughout several lifetimes, one attains the state of liberation, of enlightenment. The Vajrayana, on the other hand, is a method to attain enlightenment in a single lifetime, a single body. So where does the difference come about? When it comes to bodhicitta, they all are the same. The three vehicles are the same. And so bodhicitta is the same. We give rise to bodhicitta, but then in the Vajrayana, although we give rise to bodhicitta, we still have a grasping, an ordinary perception towards our inner body, the outer form, our inner speech, and the outer sound. So we have many habitual tendencies and habitual ways of perceiving a form and sound, or body and speech. And that is although we give rise to bodhicitta. And so in order to purify these habitual imprints, we engage the path of the Vajrayana. So bodhicitta is always the same. In the Pratimoksha, Bodhisattva, and the Vajrayana vehicles, freedom is attained on the basis of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta in all those paths is like the life force of a person. So it's the life force of all these paths. And so then what is the special method that distinguishes the Vajrayana from the other vehicles? It is that in the Vajrayana we purify these habitual tendencies. In the Vajrayana we purify the habitual tendencies of the body by visualizing the deity, the creation stage, and we purify the habitual tendencies of speech by reciting the deity's mantra. And so in this way we purify the grasping to the outer form, the inner body, and the outer sound, the inner speech. And as a result of that, later on, having purified these habitual tendencies, then later in the second bardo, we can arise as the Yidam deity. So when we think about it, it really actually makes sense. So this is the special method that we are given in the Vajrayana. It is the visualization of the deity's form, the creation stage, and the mantra recitation.
切让有了哈过，这马多个设计都是在银行个哟的，你让个钱，让你有么个要出去，生意话他也出，人家不能出的，这出来让你么出来，这出来，意思了的，你知道吧？一大的人上出钱，这哈过这么当地那个，当地面了，上出钱当地面了，这个钱哪怕到了家的，因为哈过了。这种我这话知道，全忙了呀，那是出多几点这些，这种万个人这里不知道个啥，人生的人家的也没有差了多的，今年是做也是啊，你上下个他们的超过的人这个东西，这是真，这是啥甚至人家把这块都还好嘛，他的发生这样的，懂了的，差了多这个钱的这个当真人，这都是啥情况的，也不要个这把人，抓这个提到长度的东西，这个人生活或这把人，不知道个啥，你就得查见上这个各种托，这个就把更加样的送到里面的托差了多的人都有的，像这里有这是能得到的红花红色。各更加不一样，送往前当人，托差了多的也是，他这个他都把不同程度了，也是那就我呢，白人呢，你就到了红嘴巴啊，托个红嘴。这关于大的，主要他是卡卡的去马上，主要他就卡卡的上了，这你这个对了嘛，就基本上差了了的。没往家头那啥经常说了，这个都上了，这个啥都皮了的，也没啥人过的什么的，他自己脑壳了。
And so so that is the special method, the skillful means of the Vajrayanam. And so in the beginning, to enter this path, we receive the empowerment of the Vajrayanam. And so then there are many different deities. There are too many deities. It almost is like a big like shop where there's such a variety of many deities. But actually, if you read the Samantabhadra prayer that we mentioned yesterday, you understand the meaning of that. In there it says there are billions of emanations that manifest equal to the number of sentient beings to benefit beings according to their capacities. Although there are millions of emanations, billions of emanations, all emanations of the Buddha are the same in the space of the Dharmakaya. So the Dharmakaya nature is like space, and within that all the Buddhas are one. So the life force of all wisdom deities is a single one. It is like a single tree trunk or the single basis. So that's their Dharmakaya nature. And then the Sambhogakaya nature is like a rainbow appearing in the sky, a rainbow with 5 colors. So then various deities appear, peaceful and wrathful, male and female, according to the mental capacities of sentient beings. So in this world, for example, beings appear as male and female, animals and people and so on, all appear as male and female. So therefore, according to their mental capacity, the deities also appear as male and female, for instance. But then in reality, such a gender, male and female, does not actually exist within Buddha nature. Within Buddha nature, there is no such a division, no such a duality. So when you understand that, all dualistic grasping is cleared away and non-dual wisdom will expand. One attains enlightenment when one realizes non-duality. And then how is it when we have not realized that? For example, during the empowerment, we are given often the symbol of the crystal. And so when the sun shines on the crystal, then the room is filled with rainbow lights. So the crystal is the I, and the rainbow lights is what I call the other. So those sentient beings who have not realized how things are, they will see themselves as this crystal and those rainbow lights as all the other worlds, separate from them. But those who have realized the nature of mind understand that the rainbow lights are the reflection of the crystal. So the other appearances are actually the reflection of my own mind, one's own mind. So therefore, whatever they see, whatever they hear, whatever appearance they perceive, they understand that nothing transcends one's own mind. Everything is the reflection of one's own mind. And so to beings who have not understood that, not realized that, it appears in this dualistic way. They separate the crystal from the rainbow. And then beings, due to that dualistic perception, beings become afflicted. And then when their minds become afflicted and the mind becomes disturbed, then also that disturbs the outer elements, since the outer appearances are related to the inner mind. So when the inner mind is afflicted, then also that disturbs the outer elements in this world. So the root of the empowerment, or the root of understanding non-duality, is to eliminate self-grasping by giving rise to bodhicitta. When there is no more self-grasping, the mind becomes like space, and when the mind becomes like space, we can understand non-duality. So that is what we are introduced to during the empowerment. Although there are many different deities, all the deities have a single life force, a single heart, a single mind. So now in this particular empowerment, we have received the cards. We received the empowerment of those three deities, the emanation of Manjushri, Vajrapani, and Chenrezig. And so then appearing in the wrathful form as a skillful means of Vajrayana, according to the mental capacities of those to be tamed. So we have received those three pictures, since maybe you're not familiar with these deities. And so actually they all are the deity from whom we received the empowerment are all related to one another. So the Vajrapani also appears as is an emanation of Chenrezig, and that also has the nature of Hayagriva. The deity consists of body, speech, and mind, so we can see them as emanations of the enlightened body, speech, and mind. The enlightened form is represented by Manjushri, the speech by Hayagriva, and the mind as by Vajrapani. And so also often when we practice a deity, all the deities are marked with Om Ahung. Their forehead with Om, their throat with Ah, and their heart with Hung, and that is a sign that all the deities are the same, are actually one, and that we cannot actually separate them. So therefore, do not think that the deities are all distinct or separate from each other, because if you separate them, then they become many individual separate beings. They become ordinary, worldly beings. So it is necessary to practice the deity when you receive an empowerment with the understanding that a single empowerment or a single deity encompasses 100 empowerments. Because if you do not see that they are indivisible, if they become separate, then you will not engage the practice with the right understanding.
这个大你王子罗玉是就有的，有王子罗玉是罗伯的。
So then next I will read the historical account of this empowerment. the history. The joint empowerment of the three wrathful ones. May all sentient beings, extensive as space, attain the state of perfect enlightenment. Think that for this purpose I shall receive their profound ripening empowerment of the root of the secret mantra Vajrayana path and listen attentively. The secret mantra Vajra vehicle is the heart essence of all the inconceivable teachings given by the Buddhas in accordance with the mental capacities of sentient beings to be tamed. These teachings consist of the orally transmitted teachings and the revealed treasure teachings, which are both integrated within this text here. Of the numerous sadhanas of myriad exalted deities, you will receive the empowerment of the three wrathful ones joined together. In general, it is said that all the Buddhas are one within the expanse of primordial wisdom. Accordingly, while they are the same in essence, they appear in distinct forms. The wisdom Garuda appears as the body emanation of all the Buddhas in order to tame the Nagas and territorial spirits. Hayagriva, powerful lotus, appeared as the speech emanation of all the Buddhas in order to tame the Gyalgan spirits, goblins, and so forth. Vajrapani, the glorious Lord of Secrets, appeared as the mind emanation of all Buddhas and ruled over all the planetary spirits, the Nagas, the 8 classes of demons, and all obstructors. Together they embody the power and might of all the Buddhas combined. In these times of degeneration, few sentient beings practice virtue, and many engage in non-virtuous deeds. This has disturbed the gods above, the Nagas below, and the 8 classes of spirits in between, and thus dark forces are rampant everywhere. This causes many humans to be struck by sudden death and the ocean of suffering to surge. At such a time, the compassion of these exalted deities is swift and their blessings are powerful. Thus, it is needless to mention the benefits of receiving this empowerment. It is said that only saying their names will render demons and obstacles powerless, and one will obtain cities. It is needless to mention the inconceivable benefits of engaging in practice after having received the secret blessings of this profound empowerment. Yeah.
니도 상하가 동시바디 상 배야고 말에 시도 맞아바리 예외로다가 왕을 가는 라마교신 다음에는 왕천이야 시바스는 대가치 뭐요 그러다가 라 그사가 로마 그런 도봉 대선 도다데 신나 니네 빠졌더니 왕을 같이 보여요 대선도 갔다 거기서 문화는 이제 찍지 그러다가 라가 초소이 시당 그런 도봉을 사족 생나마니 그사가 로마가 샘제식 못해서 주발이 다다지 민지요 왕은 민지요 왕 마미바 가리 그러나 그러다가 라 그렇게 로봉 그사 로마서 동부 찍다가 하고 그래 로보 찍다고 하고 그러다가 사실 또 상웅다래 그렇게 로봉서 디상하고 변식을 내도 용기 무슨 저봐 내도 따르래 그래서 로마서 카마지로 가봤다가 물을 못 치는데 하정 수남 첨보인데 단조 조지 상면 내 카마지로 내도 가봤다가 차지 이 상하고 동 잡아든 만을 채우는 내도 가봐 카시 소소용들이 또 받으면 내도 가봐 카시는 상우 받으면 봐 이거 사지 똑똑히 정 나도 타지 그렇게 인해서 얘는 차지에 조금 더 공식을 높은 것을 보면 조금까지 이런 야와탄 제지만 밀어가 나서 밀어가 근데 거기를 안 맞으면 서로 왔다 그러가 다비치다 맞지 몇 쪽 바꿔 내왔다고 차지가 내주는 것이 제가 그냥 오 소소라 유를 사지요 함하고 와래 라면 봤으면 이 사축라지를 막네 지금 맥치와는 차지 내가 그것도 똑같이 던지고 딴 나보다 저기 있는데 나보다 와서 맥치를 맥 내가 하고는 누구를 맥치를 내가 어제 지금 왕성 한번 같이 보고 일변지를 제는 만년지랑 생명지를 사축생 이 생물들이 저도 산지 공부 rapparbo pambo 등parbo 다른 parbo서 많이 이 그런데 타지 저 그냥 산지 듣고요 이제 시대 되는 거는 lama kanga ni wang ke ni shi ni ye ma tang ku la la ta ji chu na ka ta le no lo ku ta zong ta le ku yo le tu ke cha ba ta le wa te ta le ta yu ma che ba su yu ji ba ya ba de shi ne ni ba chi mo yo le wang ja shi ni ba ja yo le ta chi ko.
So the secret mantra is actually not called secret because it is hidden, but it is called secret because it is difficult to realize, understand its meaning. So in order to understand its meaning, first it is necessary to understand the relation between three: the deity from whom we receive the empowerment, the master who confers the empowerment, and the disciple who receives the empowerment. If you understand the relation of these three, then the power of the empowerment will be great. So yesterday during the Samanta Bhadra prayer, we mentioned the single ground, the single basis. So on the basis of that, we can understand their relation. The deity, the wisdom deity, the mind of the deity is the expanse of great wisdom. The Vajramaster has accomplished a twofold bodhicitta, and the disciple's mind also possesses Buddha nature. And so that is, on that basis, they all are the same, they all are one, on the basis of the mind. The empowerment is also called the ripening empowerment. So what is it? What unripe thing should be ripened? So the deity, the Vajramaster, and the disciple are like a single tree, like the trunk of a single tree. They are a single mental continuum. The deity, for example, is like the seed of a flower, and the Vajramaster, who understands the meaning of the Vajrayana, is like the flower, the blossomed flower, and the disciple is like the unripe flower, so the flower bud that is not yet opened. But it is already a flower bud because we have obtained the precious human body. So we have obtained those 18 freedoms and fortunes, so we are endowed with a great merit. So then when we enter the Vajrayana and understand its meaning, it is like this flower bud, this flower encounters rain and sun, and then it blossoms and it opens up. And then from that, countless more seeds will emerge. Countless Nirmana Kayas will emerge from one blossomed flower, just like many seeds emerge from a flower. So then everything actually that appears and exists, the outer universe and all the beings actually are Nirmana Kayas. So the disciple who receives the empowerment and the master who confers it actually are all Nirmanakaya emanations. For example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is also a human being like we are, but he shows us the path. Without showing us the path, we would be blind. So without knowing karma, it is like being blind, not having two eyes. But introducing us to karma is like having two open eyes. So this is what we are shown when we are introduced to the three levels of the path. We enter the path, especially of the Bodhisattva Yana, and that is like we have our eyes opened up. If that does not happen, if we are blind, many doubts arise in our mind regarding the Buddhist view. But what really happens in the Buddhist path is our eyes are opening up to the workings of karma, cause and effect. And if we understand that, those workings of karma, then with open eyes, then the blessings and the power of the empowerment will be great. And so then with that understanding, we ripen our body with the creation stage, the visualization. We ripen the speech with the mantra recitation and the mind with bodhicitta. And if we ripen our body, speech, and mind in those ways, then ideally we attain enlightenment in the first bardo, or in the second bardo, or at least in the third bardo. So we should trust in that, and then on the basis of this trust, with great trust like that, we receive the empowerment from our guru. And that is from whichever lama, whichever guru you receive an empowerment, Do not criticize, look at this guru with a critical mind, but receive the empowerment and know that through this the deity in the Sambhogakaya form appears just like a rainbow in the sky. And then from that appear like raindrops falling down, Nirmanakayas, in the form of our spiritual masters and so on, appear continuously in this world. And all their mental continuum, their mind is the same. So if you understand the empowerment in this way, the master from whom you receive the empowerment and how his mind is one with the deity and so on, so then the empowerment will really be very, very powerful to you. And then 100 empowerments is, if you receive 100 empowerments, you at the same time will absorb 100 great powers. What is the creation So the root of suffering, the root of samsara and of suffering of all sentient beings, limitless space, is self-grasping. And always when we receive the Dharma or we explain the Dharma, we offer a mandala, and that mainly is an antidote to self-grasping. So the self-grasping of all the sentient beings in the three realms of samsara and my own self-grasping are a single one, it's the same by nature. So bring together, mentally gather all that self-grasping of all the sentient beings. Bring to mind the entire limitless universe and all the sentient beings, all the self-grasping, your own self-grasping, and then all everything that, all the things and enjoyments, resources, even your own body that you personally cling to, and think that all of that you offer up to the Buddhas abiding in space in the form of a mandala. So after having offered up all that to the Buddhas, what we then receive in return from them is the altruistic mind. So the actual blessing that we receive during the empowerment is to receive the altruistic mind. So with that in mind, please offer a mandala.
Bindabirme avarja nabadava vajite jasajya vandedareke avajse jaramajye yodokava humre javar cha.
Jana Punya Pushtam
차이잖아. 당대 고라가래. 너무 질라. 나와 sel소. 너무 야지요. 너무 찍게. 너제도 너무 얘기하라. 고라가래.
So when we are introduced to the nature of samsara and nirvana in the context of Mahamudra, for example, one illustration is a tree. And when we think of a tree, it is easier to understand. So we have the lower part of the tree, the roots, and the upper part, the branches, but it is still one tree, one trunk. And so that is another example of that Vajra. You have received the mind empowerment. Illness and negative forces related to the mind are pacified, and you are empowered to cultivate the Vajra-like samadhi of the three exalted wisdom deities.
도마는 초과형 랑징이요. 이런 데에 너무 나서 뭐 지금 라서와 정아 맹아를 진아 대상도 오는데 고체 탐지 받아 도마는 참고요. 가리고나 그루도 초과형 진아 참고요. 선발 이와는 럽 찬의 도마 시는 주나 다시 사성지 상촉 청구라는 게 제단이요. 상촉 청구라는 게 차지요. 이제 말하자면 설합도 시바서 그래서 더 돌면서 지 내가서 봤다지 랑게 제제 완전 레제 내도 과체셔와 저도 어쩔 제바 이 랑하 왕도와 이 파체타도 도도와 빼나 그도 나도 차당치가 담을 지금 왜 봐요 좀 같이 돼서 뭐 상고요래 그때 요스다나 연구요래 요거요래 내가 주비를 맞이 용토고 말이야. 저래는데 드럽네. 라는 파체의 연구요나. 이 동백당 그 뭐든 어디다 대응할 적도 봤던 오늘들이 가라지로 정도. 나 대리 책도 니 말하고 계속 인자지만은 이면은 그냥 계속 말이야. 저래 레미다 그 동백당 그 뭐 말랑이 봐서 때라서 봐. 그렇다 당정세가 당정세가도 대탐제를 평균로 오버되니 대탐제 상촉청을 나디 이거 돌아 중탐제 요번에 이 상촉도 세면서 봐요 말이야. 이 돈을 때라서 봐다. 전화 남답제 되니 용이 돌아서 그 만내를 보다 더 중요하다. 돈을 사 된다고 그러더니 그래서 일단 또마 사투고 말이 세당 말이야. 또마 잡았더니 더 중요해요. 이전에더니 좀다 리미거든요. 산업 사제를 농탐제더니 유성주 사제 탐제 산업 까마 대마 라서가 대대 탐제 더 중요해요. 내가 특정요 말이야. 더 중요한데 보여요. 더 중요한 사람 망고 사는 말이야. 망고 말이야. 뭐 좀더 깔아 담지. 축축마 용깔다 뭐 말이야. 유는 못 사고 니 인정도 상아 되게 요래. 내 축구 상아 되게 요래. 냅자 현재 눈에 대봐도 말이나 샤피 제고 내 당대 또 지금 주고 다서 미망고 요가서 이 대봐도 봐. 랑게 lokta 대초는 단 가시에 그랬더니 타당인가 대담이라더니 이게 제기로 단 나빠지 가리 제기로나 단 센터 동사들이 고다 뜻을 맞고 망고 따와도 요리 좀 니는 노바 따야한테 랑을 노바 따와도 따고 나지 니요 말이 니는 필요 듣기도 랑을 집에 봤다 소실 락발이 집에나 소실 좋고 내 당연 거 내가 나지 니면에 나고 따와 운이 요나들 인생 따와니 너무 펄펄 걸나 미성을 랑을 노바 따와 한 거예요 그래서 코나들 랑을 필요 따왔대 나고 따왔대 대시 속들이 남의 가르치는 데 필요하지 해서 하고 듣대 또 맞아 이바지 우럽듯이 봐서 이들도 지금 거야요
And so then there's the Dharma empowerment. And so this empowerment is practiced on the basis of the Dharma. Some others are practiced on the basis of a vase, for example. So this one is practiced on the basis of a Dharma. And so this Dharma possesses 4 great qualities. And the Dharma we need more batteries. So there's 4 great qualities of a Dharma, and also at home people often place a Dharma or a vase or a stupa onto their shrine, and actually that is an incredible merit, and especially if you understand the meaning, and the vase and the stupa and so have the same meaning as the Dharma, also have those 4 great qualities. So the first of these qualities is that Dharma represents the immeasurable palace of the deity. And then the same is true also for the vases and stupas and so on. And so and that is good to understand, because when you have that at home, often people always wonder what is actually the meaning and the benefit of a vase, for example, on my shrine. So therefore it is good to understand this. So the immeasurable palace is represented by these. That is, first of all, the deities need a place where we can invite them to. So the deity is a wisdom being, free from all dualistic grasping. But then from our perspective, when we still see things from a dualistic perspective, there's still, on that level, there actually is the deity, and there also is samsara and nirvana. So from that perspective, from our perspective, the deity needs a place to dwell, a place where we can invite the deity to. So it is like a big hotel, like this one here, where everyone can stay. So the deity first comes to this to the Dharma. So it's the dwelling place of the Dharma, like a palace. And then the second quality of the Dharma is the Dharma also represents the deity itself. So then within that big hotel, the deity, and there is the deity, so it is filled with the deity, so it is the deity. So we visualize the deity. We can visualize it in different forms, in different ways. Sometimes as large as a mountain, Mount Meru, filling up the entire universe, and sometimes very small, like a mustard or sesame seed. And so therefore, you can think that the deity actually can fit in the deity. The deity is actually within that Dharma, can fit in the Dharma. And so you see the Dharma as the actual deity. And then the same actually is true for any other representation, for example, a statue or a tanka and so on. So if you really think that this really is the deity is here, then you will also receive the blessings of the deity. So that's the second quality. The third quality is that the Dharma also represents an offering. So just like in this hotel here, for example, there are many sense pleasures. For example, there is food and there is pools and so on. And so everything, all the various sense pleasures are effortlessly present within this hotel, within this Dharma. So it becomes therefore also an offering to the deity that naturally appears. For example, the Dharma, this Dharma consists of various precious objects, jewels, the various types of jewels and precious stones, and 5 special grains and medicines and so forth. So it consists of various special substances. Anything is present within that. And then the fourth quality is that after we have practiced, after we have accomplished the practice or the empowerment, and often the Dharma is made out of a dough, so it is edible, we can eat it. So in the end we practice, in the end we eat part of the Dharma, and that is a blessing, because through the practice the Dharma has been blessed by the bodhicitta of the deity. And so then this dough also has the nature of bodhicitta, and that is the blessing that we then receive when we eat this part of the Dharma. So often the Dharma is made of this dough, and so we eat part of the dough or part of this, the ornaments, the butter ornaments, and so on. And then that blessing becomes a siddhi, an accomplishment, the accomplishment of the 4 enlightened activities. So that is all illness and so forth is pacified, and merit and life and so on increases, and the universe, all appearances are overpowered, and obstacles are repelled, and so on. Regarding that also, often regarding these obstacles, for example, people often have some like doubts and thoughts in their mind. They're worried that maybe somebody is casting a spell, is like practicing black magic on me, somebody's harming me. And so that is really related to our own thinking. If you think that there is a harm, then harm will actually appear to come to you. But it can only come if there is a karma for that. If there is no karma, it can also not come. It is that the cause are one's own karmas, misdeeds and obscurations. And then the harm that is being caused is actually only a condition. So it is the condition is the obstacles, hindrances, illness, and so on. So then now we think that we blame those conditions. For example, we say, somebody has taken that something from me, somebody is like hurting me, is harming me, but actually that is only the condition and not the actual cause. If we had not created the cause for that, then actually nobody could do anything to us. Or for example, we have negative dreams and so on. Then we think somebody's casting a spell or practicing black magic on us or so. But actually, ultimately, these are all temporary occurrences. Ultimately, it comes down to the fault of one's own self-grasping. So when there is self-grasping, due to self-grasping, the various harm appear. And so therefore, when there is bodhicittas, there is no self-grasping. So when there is no more self-grasping, all these faults and all this harm is also gone. So coming back to the Dharma, which is the blessing, it is the blessing of bodhicitta. So this is what we are then actually eating. It is therefore also called a liberation by tasting. For example, also there is the blessing pills, the mani pills, and so on, liberation by tasting. These pills, for example, contain the blessings of all the various lineages, and today you will actually receive these as the blessing of the empowerment, the fourth benefit, because this dharma here is, we cannot eat this dharma, it's made out of gold and silver. So to represent that, we will receive the blessing pills, but it is actually the same. And so within these blessing pills, the blessings of all the lineages without any bias are fully complete, and also the various blessings of all the Buddhas of the 3 times, the blessings of the various the lineages, the oral transmission lineage, the treasure, the revealed treasure or dharma lineage, and so on. There's no blessing that is not complete. And so then when you eat these blessing pills, you should not eat too much, just a tiny little grain, like little ant or so, like a tiny little grain, or like a mustard seed, every evening, and it can actually last you for a very long time. And it is actually a great medicine. It can be taken on its own, or there's also no harm by taking it together with any other medicine. There's no interference. It is one medicine that cures 100 illnesses. Actually, there have been many stories of people who had illnesses that could not even be cured by surgery, and that then ended up being cured by just eating those blessing pills. So that also depends on one's own faith and devotion. And so often people have some wrong views and doubts, and when they see some of the scriptures, the Buddhist scriptures, they wonder that there's all these strange substances, and they talk about spells and so on in the scriptures. So what are these Buddhists really up to? So people have some doubts about that. But if you really understand the Buddhist view, then there's really no doubt, because in the actual Buddhist view is that if you cause harm to others, you're actually harming yourself. And that is because self and others are indivisible, are actually non-dual. And so likewise, therefore, if you benefit others, it is like benefiting yourself, like caring for your own body. For example, if you care for your hand, then your whole body will be well. So that is the actual Buddhist view. If you really understand the Buddhist view, you will not even dare to have an evil thought about others, of harming them and so on. That is because then you know if you wish to harm others, you are actually really harming yourself. So the Buddhist view really is only altruistic, only wishing to benefit and help others. And so if you understand that, you really understand the benefit of the Buddhist view. Because no matter what the Buddhist practice does, it certainly can only be beneficial for others. And so that is now the fourth quality of the Dharma. It represents the siddhi, or the accomplishment, which today is represented by the blessing pills that we will receive.
산촉 생들이 쫙 쏟다가 주부 예제게 동거 저 산촉 생들 산촉 생 매바저가 라고나 라랑 유바 지디바 사 차로 요래 지디바 지와 가리들 라지 건 저래 좀 정상 요래 동해 요래 또 정철이 연구 요래 대는 정상 동해 다지는 말더라 지디바 사서 산촉 생들이 즉점나 산촉 생들이 이식을 다 차는 거요래 네 난징의 중장 산촉성의 용진의 진들이 제발 대종을 쪼고더니 담측을 따로 담들이 산촉성 사바의 hin지에서 대가치 모임들이 대만야 바송산 일말라이 바송바나 용이 송자와 시장 소로 받자서 가고음수 가지나 땅하게 사바의 hin지들한 게 냐도 대비 조리 파만이 종대 감좀 새끼 답들 나양 시장매지 사촉성의 송이 같이 있잖아 샤과체의 사촉성의 용띠는 사촉성의 냠냠 사워요 소양 사워요 그게 타관의 일이 셀카리스나 루트고요래这位 약자는 투트고요 사촉성 냠사와 소사가리 그냥 니자 발맞추고 소트를 하고 자상촉성 사바던 행제를 이때 소냐베더니 나가 지지제 지지네들이 왕주 페토바레
Is it on? Yeah, okay. So then, after having received the empowerment of secret mantra, then lastly there's the samaya, and the samaya is the life force of the empowerment. And then each empowerment, each deity has their own individual samayas that is explained in the various scriptures. And so, why is there actually such a variety? Actually, in the old days in India, in the noble land of India, the siddhas actually received the empowerment of one deity and then only practiced that one deity their entire life and attained enlightenment in a single lifetime, only practicing this one deity. But then nowadays there is a great variety of aspirations and capacities of sentient beings. And so many different deities are practiced. You receive the empowerment of many deities. So there is the various classes of Tantra of the new Tantric system, the Sarma, there's the 4 classes of Tantra. And also in the Nyingma, we have the approach, accomplishment, and the activity, the application, practice. And so in all these systems, there are many different deities. However, no matter how many there are, they all have a single basis. Because they are wisdom beings, they have the same mind. There is no difference between them. And so therefore, although there might be various branch samayas, the root samaya is actually always the same. For example, it is like a tree. You have one root and many different branches. The branch samayas are like these many branches on one tree. So if you are able to keep all these branch samayas, then that is the best, that is excellent. Within these actually all the vows of the Pratimoksha, Bodhisattva and Vajrayana vehicle are complete. So you keep those vows if you can. But what is more important, what you certainly must keep and not neglect is the root samaya. And that is most important. And that is important even if you do not receive the empowerment. Even if you do not receive the empowerment, if you do not keep the root samaya, you will still fall into the 3 lower realms. So some people actually say that it's better not to receive an empowerment because, and if you can't keep that samaya, then you will fall into the lower realms, into the hell and so on. And so they do not dare to receive the empowerment, therefore. But actually, here it is important to understand the root samaya, and that is bodhicitta. And if we lose our bodhicitta, the root samaya, whether or not we have received the vow, the empowerment, we will still fall into the lower realms. Therefore, Jigten Sumgön had said, it is a greater fault of not ever receiving a vow, then receiving a vow and then transgressing the vow. And so actually when we take a vow and we transgress that vow, then we have some awareness that we transgressed the vow, and then we confess that. So for example, in this world we can see that some people experience some difficulties, and then there's nothing that can help them, nothing can rescue them. They are without any control, without any hope of help. They are harmed, for example, by the 5 elements, or they experience an untimely death, and there's nothing that can be done about it. And so that is when in a past life we have never taken a vow, and because of that we have thought that I don't have any vows, I have no commitment, so I can do whatever I want. And then knowingly they have engaged in the 10 non-virtuous actions and so on, carelessly. So therefore, because they never had a vow to heed, they never also confessed their misdeeds. And now when that ripens, then nothing can help them. And on the other hand, somebody who has taken a vow, or like an empowerment and so on, and if they transgress that vow, then they will recognize that. They will recognize, actually I have that vow, now I transgressed it. So they regret and confess it, and they vow not to repeat that again, and so on. And so for them, the same kind of suffering might ripen, illness and so on, but then something happens that can help them. Some kind of rescue will come and they can be protected. For example, when an airplane crashes, sometimes 1 or 2 people do not die and the rest dies, for example. So in some cases, there's nothing that can be done because beings have not confessed or regretted their misdeeds in a past life. But if we have confessed, then we have already planted the seed of liberation in the mind. And even if we do not properly engage in practice, still there will be a rescue, a help when we encounter suffering. So therefore it is good to receive the empowerment. You should receive the empowerment. And so then in terms of the timing of taking a vow, ideally we take a vow for as long as we live, or if we can't, we can take it for a year or for a month or for a day, or even just if you take it for an hour, the benefits are inconceivable, as we mentioned yesterday during the refuge vow. So the root, the life force of the empowerment is the samaya. And of the branch samayas, such as the mantra recitation and the various other branch samayas, you observe them as well as you can. And for example, if you are able to just think of the deity, even if you do not recite the mantra, that is excellent. But what is most important is the root samaya, and that is bodhicitta. That is the single root samaya of hundreds of deities. It is the life force of all the deities. The 84,000 Dharma teachings gather in bodhicitta. So if you would practice the deity without bodhicitta, then you will only become an ordinary, a worldly god. And a worldly god might have the body of a deity, and they might be very powerful, but then they still suffer. They are still afraid. They are still ordinary. And on the other hand, if you practice the deity with bodhicitta, then that will create the wisdom being. So we must discern between the faults of self-grasping and the qualities of bodhicitta to understand the root samaya. So the root samaya is bodhicitta, love and compassion. That is most important. You should try to never lose your bodhicitta. Milarepa had said the roots of the lower realms is hatred, anger. Therefore, practice patience even at the cost of your life. So always keep that in mind. This is my samaya. I must always sustain love, especially towards those companions surrounding you. For example, starting with your parents, your friends, your companions, and then all sentient beings of the 3 realms. You should think that may I always sustain my love for them. I will never get angry at them. I will cultivate bodhicitta for them. And if I do get angry, I will confess. So it is said that bodhicitta, the bodhisattva vow, actually is easily lost, but also it is very easily repaired. Just like a golden chain, like a golden garland, a golden chain. It can easily be broken, but also it can easily be fixed. So likewise, we can easily lose our bodhisattva vow, but we can easily restore it if we confess our transgressions continuously every day. So most important, therefore, the samaya is to cultivate love and compassion. So we will then repeat the samaya, and then later you come up to receive the blessings of the empowerment, and then you are free to leave. And so then also, after the empowerment, or when you receive the blessing of the empowerment, you will receive, I'm offering to you this liberation by seeing, like on the sticker, but we make it in different forms. So the benefits are also explained on that sticker. It comes from the sutras. And also, so it is sticker, liberation by seeing, the same mantra. Liberation by seeing is, for example, these bracelets, or there's also these pins that you make and so on. And so they all have the same benefit, the same mantra. And that is according to the sutra tradition. And then according to the tantric tradition, on this bracelet, on the outside, you have this liberation by seeing mantra. On the inside, there is this liberation by touching mantra, and that is the one according to the tantric system. So that's printed on the inside, and it touches your skin. And so these syllables, liberation by touching. And then by wearing this bracelet, whoever sees this, beings with a body or without a body, will have the seed of liberation planted. And at least they will be born in the God realm. But surely it will close the door to the 3 lower realms. So that is a way to benefit others by just wearing this bracelet. And also, if you wear this bracelet, and if you do encounter an untimely death, then only by wearing this bracelet at that time, at least you will be born, one will be born in the God realm. So This one is the same as this sticker that we put on the doorway, on top of the doorway. Then the second liberation is the liberation by tasting that I'm offering to you. That is the blessing pills that you will receive. And these blessing pills contain all the blessings of all the lineages without bias. And then also there is liberation by hearing. And that are those booklets of the Samantha Bhadra prayer and the 37 Bodhisattva practices. And these two actually represent the union of the sutras and the tantras, the two truths. So when I'm giving these to you, many of you have received them, several of them already. So if you have many of them at home, you should keep one with you. But if you have many, do not just let them lie around at home, but then give them to somebody else. By giving those to somebody else, these booklets, for instance, you're really bringing great benefit to them because you're opening their eyes to the path of liberation. And in that way, you also accumulate a great merit. For example, when we receive the refuge vow, we receive those cards, the refuge cards, and these cards contain some explanations. And so some people have collected many of these. And if you have many, just keep one of them for yourself and the rest you can give them to others because it will benefit them. That is actually the greatest benefit. For example, if you would give somebody $10,000, then that is a temporary benefit. They will like that. They will benefit from that for the time being, but only temporarily. If you give them, on the other hand, those 37 Bodhisattva practices, that will actually benefit them in all future lifetimes. So therefore, the benefit of that is even greater. And so then, since I'm giving these books to you, you might think then, oh, Rinpoche gave these books. He made these books and he distributed them. But this also is not true. I'm actually not even able to make these books. It was due to the kindness of the benefactors who made these booklets, because they understand the benefits of bodhicitta, they possess bodhicitta, and therefore they have created these books. So it was not really me, actually. Actually, I do not even have my own food to eat and must beg others for their food. No, it was actually due to the kindness of those very faithful benefactors. They really have done that, so I'm grateful for that. So today I'm offering you these forms of liberation: liberation by seeing, liberation by tasting, and liberation by hearing. So then there's this bodhicitta prayer, Rinpoche wants us to read in the end, page 11, and then the long life prayers after that. So in English together, page 11 in the prayer book. And so we do repeat, we will repeat on page 11 the bodhicitta prayer, and then we read the long life prayers of it. So please repeat. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, word is unborn, may it arise, word is born, may it not decline, and may ever increase, rising higher and higher. Then we read His Holiness Dalai Lama Long Life Prayer on page 12. For this heavenly realm, encircled by snow-covered mountains, the primordial source of all benefit and bliss is Tenzin Gyatso, Chinrezig in person. May he remain steadfast until samsara's end.
Dear Dhamma brother and sister, please remain seated. The empowerment will start shortly. We will start from the first line. So, Sangha members should go first, please. And then we will start from the first line. Please remain seated. Our volunteer will direct us. 各位师兄，我们马上就开始那个仁波切灌顶哦。那我们会请我们僧伽先灌顶，然后按照第一排、第二排来过，然后我们的义工会帮我们。If we have any offering for Rinpoche, please we prepare some box there, because if you put on top of Rinpoche's table, you can see the space is very small. They bound to fall on the floor. So all offering, red envelope or white envelope, whatever, please put into the box here. We will collect everything and give it to Rinpoche. 如果说我们要供养仁波切的话，因为仁波切前面的桌子很小，所以如果一直叠上去会掉到地上来，所以我们在旁边放了一些 box， 一些盒子，大家可以把供养放在这个盒子里面哈。那我们就先请第一排的师兄。朱师兄，我们这一麻烦帮我看一下，不是那边麻烦你。我们供养的这个红包哈，麻烦请放到旁边我们已经准备好的 box。你们是第一排对吗？那第一排稍等一下哈。我就等他们先。乱掉了。
be me Om mani be me Om mani be me Om mani be me Om mani Om mani be me 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 mani be me Om 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 mani be Om mani be me 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 Om be me Om mani 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 be mane beme Om mane beme hum Om mane beme Om mane beme hum Om mane beme Om mane beme Mane beme Om 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 Mane Om Mane Beme 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 Mane Beme Om 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 mane padme hum. 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 Om mane padme Om mane padme hum. 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 Om mane Om mane padme hum. 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 Om ne be me Om mane 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 be me